everyone. Today we are here with the podcast. I have two guests, Basila Ariel.
Hello.
Thank you for coming, and Mr. Avatar Ariel.
Thank
you so much for your time. Without further ado, I want to start our podcast. Our topic for the day is natural disaster. It's a huge topic, but we will do like short podcast here. We don't have that much time for this time. Let's start with a question. My first question is for Mr. Avatar Ariel. What do you think about climate change? It is happening rapidly. We can see and feel that it is getting extreme every year and all over the globe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on the podcast. And I'd like to say climate change is really affecting the earth in a very negative way, especially in the past 50 years. Has been increasing more than ever before in the earth's history. Before the Industrial Revolution in the 1800s, humans did not contribute to climate change. It was mostly natural. And now since started burning fossil fuels such as coal, natural gas, and oil, contributing to climate change and the rise of temperatures, which will have many negative impacts on the earth, which we are already seeing today. And in the future, we will continue to see much more negative impacts.
Wow, this is a very serious thing.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for your response. And my next question is for Miss Basila. Who is more responsible for the climate change? In your opinion, what do you think? Is human are more responsible or animal? I'm sure human are more responsible than the animal. Do you have any example like why human are more responsible, or like is there any part the animal also playing for it?
Well, I think that the animals also play some part into climate change and things that happen in the climate, but what they contribute into climate change is far less significant, very, very, very less significant than what the humans do for climate change. Because humans, they like almost everything they do with like factories and things like that, and burning like energy and transportation, like there's just many levels to that, where natural things that animals do, like if that's natural, then it's not going to be very harmful to the environment, but because of humans it's been amplified a lot.
Okay, thank you. That's true. Yes. Let's move on to the next question. This question for Mr. Avatar Ariel. Do you think the world should be more concerned about natural disaster, or they need to be concerned for the terrorism? What is your opinion?
Oh, that's a hard question. Personally, I think with natural disasters, for example, earthquakes, volcanoes, all kinds of weathers like hurricane, tornado, it's very hard to prevent because these are natural things. We cannot control them. We can try to lessen the impact. For example, there was an earthquake in Japan recently. It was very destructive, but since they construct their buildings to the standard to be earthquake proof, the destruction was not as significant as, for example, it would have been in another country. And we can see like hurricanes and tornadoes and all other types of weather related disasters. They cause major impacts to society, but we can try to prevent them as best as we can. But I think we should be more concerned about terrorism, because it is a human only impact, is caused by humans, it impacts humans, and that is just something that we can control very much, and we should try to control as much as possible. So I think we should definitely be more concerned about terrorism.
Okay, thank you for your response. Let's move into another question. This question goes to Basila, Miss Basila. Are there often natural disaster in your country, or you think more natural disaster in other country than your country?
I think naturally, just because the United States is a really, really big country where there's lots of different areas with different climates and different areas. Some areas with a lot of fault lines, some areas are not. Some areas with mountains, which can cause avalanches and stuff like that. So some countries that are on the coast, some countries that are not. Just because there's so much variety in land in the country, there's just automatically so much natural disaster just because of the size of the country. If we're going to talk more specific, in my area where we are, there's not that many natural disasters. It's a pretty flat land. The only thing that's really comes here is sometimes tornado warnings, but even then it usually doesn't come very south.
That's good. Nice. Yes, the United States is huge. We can compare as a 50 country. That's why we can see so many different weather. One places is snowing, other places is still sunny and nice, right? So yes. Now we are almost end of the podcast. The next question is for Mr. Avatar Ariel. What is the worst natural disaster or man-made disaster you remember?
Well, there's a lot that occur. I think the worst natural disaster, especially in personal level, was the earthquake in 2015 in Nepal. It was very destructive. It was deadly. It was very negatively impactful to the country, and it's still, people are still recovering today. Even though that was very bad and very destructive, I think there are many other natural disasters that cause a lot more deaths. Man-made disasters, what I can remember right now was the Chernobyl incident, nuclear power station in the Soviet Union. It went out of control and it caused a lot of damage. And since the radiation has a very negative impact, people were affected by radiation poisoning, and that develops cancers. And it was the worst nuclear accident in history. So
Okay.
those are two. Yeah.
Thank you for the detailed answer.
Mhm.
Now it's a final question for Miss Basila. Some people think that natural disaster is an act of God. They believed that God is punishing because people are doing too much to the planet. What do you think? Do you believe on this?
That is a very, very complicated, in-depth question. I can't really give an answer to.
Do you believe or not?
Repeat?
Do you believe or not? They said oh, God is
Do I
giving
believe
punishment.
if natural disasters is a punishment of God?
Mm.
I need to ask somebody other than me.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like there's many scientific reasons that show why natural disasters happen. But there's so many different belief systems and religions and cultures, and so many people believe different things. It depends just what you believe in. It could be anything. It could just be pure science, and it could just maybe even be God, and just a little bit. Who even knows, really? It just depends what you...
Very nice. Okay. Thank you so much. We are all done with the question and the podcast. Thank you very much for coming today and answering the question. Thank you. I appreciate both of you. Fellow Toastmaster, this is a podcast made for my project level 4 project